7.3 part 2. We're going to start with some special angles that we see in some particular triangles. So let's just kind of get a triangle to get us going. You'll remember this from a previous section. We looked at some two special right triangles that you commonly encounter in geometry, and we talked about how the hypotenuse is 2, the short length is half of that hypotenuse, and then we also figured out that this was square root of 3. If we think about this in relation to our unit circle, here's our 30 degrees. We know that this has a radius of 1. If we know that the hypotenuse is twice the shortest edge, then the shortest edge has to be 1/2. So if I'm trying to figure out these ordered pairs, my x comma y values, I know that my y value is going to be 1/2, but I need to figure out what that x value would be. So I am going to use my Pythagorean theorem to find that missing leg. So I would say x squared, because this is the one I'm wanting to find, plus 1/2 squared equals to 1 squared. Solve that out. X squared plus 1/4 equals 1. Move this 1/4 over, so I get x squared equal to 3/4, and then eliminate that squared by square rooting. I get x equal to the square root of 3/2. Now this is plus or minus, so it just depends on where we are in our quadrants, but for the case of this, if I go back up here, I'm going to be looking at the square root of 3/2. And so now I've kind of gotten an idea of what this ordered pair is going to be. As we're working through these, you can see that now if I consider my unit circle, here is my 45-degree angle, and we figured out that this coordinate here is square root of 2/2, comma square root of 2/2. We now have this 30-degree angle to be square root of 3/2, comma 1/2. Now you'll notice if I extend this angle up, this would give me a 60-degree angle, which has a 30-degree angle up here. And we saw in previous sections that complementary angles, their sine and cosine can be interswapped, and so I get 1/2, comma square root of 3/2. And so this one was 1, 0. We see that this one up here is 0, 1, just by our coordinate plane. So you can see from what we've worked with so far, and this comes from page 612, that we now have our top quadrant, quadrant 1 of our unit circle. And so what I want you to do is I want you to consider this kind of part 2, our full unit circle. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that full unit circle now. And I want to kind of look at this with you. Okay, so you can see here that we already knew, and I'll just kind of draw on this as we go. We already knew this ordered pair, this ordered pair. We just found this one. This one was earlier. This is in relation to our 30-degree angle, and we've got all of these. So we have this whole first quadrant here, quadrant 1. There is a symmetry to your unit circle. I want you to notice that when I move over here to my 120 degrees, this is also an angle that would be created this way using 60 degrees. And so if I consider that triangle, my 60-degree triangle, just coming up from the x-axis, a different reference angle if you like, you can see that this ordered pair is the same as this ordered pair. We just now have a negative here because remember this is your x-axis and we are negative in this direction. So when I move into quadrant 2, you're going to notice your x's are negatives and your y's are positive. So you can see that this ordered pair and this ordered pair are the same except for that negative. The same is true for this one in relation to this one, and this one in relation to this one here. So there's a reflective property as you move around. Now when I go down here into quadrant 3, again it's reflecting. You can see that this one is the same as this one, and again it's in regard to this reference angle that creates the triangle here. again, this middle one is the same as this middle one here, and this one at the bottom is the same as this one here, all except now we're going to have negative x's and negative y's. So you can see that we've added these negatives here. Now again, we're going to go into this fourth quadrant here. Now we can go from the third, and you can see that this angle is the same as this angle. It also is reflective up here into 1, so this angle is the same. But now our y is negative and our x is positive. So you're going to see that your x's are positive and your y's are negative here. And this angle is similar to this one, and the middle one is the same as this one. So I like to show this full unit circle and show you all these symmetries, because if you can get quadrant 1, you can get all other 4 quadrants. That means if you can find the cosine of angle 30, cosine, let me do a different color here, cosine of angle 30, you can now figure out how to get cosine of angle 240 just by maybe a reflective property, or using reference angles, drawing triangles. And so I know this is kind of a mess here, but I want to kind of show you and work through these. Now I'm going to post some stuff to help you with the unit circle, but I want to kind of walk you through this just as though we did with these notes. We figured out how we got these, and then again I want to show you on the filled-in unit circle. Now you're going to see some quizzes as you work through these unit circles, and I'm going to add in some more resources to kind of help you with that. You will need to memorize this entire unit circle. You will have to know all of your degrees, all of your radians, all of your ordered pairs for this entire circle. So I'm going to post some resources to kind of help you with that. So I hope this kind of finishes up this section for you.